Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. My name is Hakimi. I'm the Minister of Finance. I want to welcome each one of you this morning for the 9th OCB meeting. Just to be very short about OCB, since some of our partners, they already started it with us. It's an oversight coordination body between the government of Afghanistan and our partners to make sure that we are all on the same page. Usually we should meet every 6 months. Ministry of Finance is the permanent co-chair, while our partners every 6 months in a rotating base they change. And I just wanted to make sure that everybody understands why we are here today. So with that, I want to thank all our partners to be here this morning with us. Of course, His Excellency Minister of Defense and also the Deputy Minister of Interior and all our colleagues from the Cabinet, Excellencies Ambassadors, General Fantas, and all the distinguished guests. A very good morning to all of you. It's my pleasure to welcome the 9th meeting of Oversight Coordination Body, and I'm pleased to be co-chairing this important meeting with my colleagues, His Excellency Ambassador Lawrence, that he couldn't make it, but I'm glad that we have Richard here with us, and also Her Excellency Shah Rafael Bahari with us. Thank you for being here. Since the 8th full level OCB, we have made a remarkable progress in implementing our reforms agenda to further our vision of self-reliance. We have also endured tremendous challenges from an insurgency that seeks to reverse our joint achievements. Last October in Brussels, we launched the Afghanistan National Peace and Development Framework, known as the ANPDF, which is our plan to make our vision for a new self-reliance in Afghanistan a reality. Today, a total, after a year or so, our achievements have put us well on the road to make that vision a reality. On 5th October 2017, the third senior officials meeting was held here in Kabul. It was an important occasion to highlight our progress on the implementation of our ANPDF, to make stock of challenges as we work together on our mutual commitments, and to look ahead to the future. It is the same spirit of mutual commitments and accountability that we are all here today. We anticipate today to hear from His Excellency Acting Minister of Defense to tell us his valuable insight into and explain to us the reality on the ground in the battlefields, with an update on the fighting season. And I'm pleased to have our Deputy Minister of Interior, Mr. Barakzai, with us, and he will give us an update about the reform within the Ministry of Interior. And also we want to give you an overview about anti-corruption measures up to now, and we want to elaborate a little bit more about assistance from our international partners and we may seek your continued support for the assistance that you have very generously given to us up to now. In the ANPDF, which is our plan and roadmap for the reform and for development, we set a goal for ourselves to have a consolidated budget by 2019. And I am so pleased to make that announcement that we have made that commitment, and I'm ready to submit our first consolidated budget tomorrow to our Parliament, 1 year ahead of schedule. So for the first time, we will be able to show a complete picture of how our national resources are being invested for 2018 and for the following 4 years beyond that. And then, of course, we will hear from our partners briefly, especially my US colleagues will give us some briefing, and also I would expect to hear from Madam Bahari as well from international partners. And then I will ask our Director General of Budget to give us some detailed information about this new budget that we will present to our Parliament tomorrow. In 2012, we went to Chicago and committed to financing our own security by 2024. Today, I am reiterating that commitment. In the previous Afghan calendar year, 1395, our contributions to our own security cost were 29 billion AFs. And I'm sure our colleague Sistika, they can verify that. In the current year, however, we stand at 30.5 billion AFs. Here is the message. Next year, in 1397, we have estimated that our contribution to the ANDSF will raise to 35 billion AFs, representing a 40% increase over our commitments of 25 billions in Chicago conference. So I will ask my DG Halimi to give you more detailed information about this. Keeping domestic revenue, however, on track is the necessary requirement for financing our own security and development needs. When the National Unity Government assumed responsibilities, our revenue were in the red of 99 billion AFs. Today, they stand at 152 billion AFs, exceeding the IMF June 2017 target by 20%. In 2016, Afghanistan improved revenue collection increase by 26% compared to 2015, exceeding the IMF target by 9 million, which is equivalent to 130 million US dollars. By the end of the year, by the end of this fiscal year, our revenue collection will be 50% higher than it was in 2014. So, if I may, on the record, I want to repeat this again. By the end of this fiscal year, our revenue collection will be 50% higher than it was in 2014. So, in our business here at the Ministry of Finance, since we are dealing with facts, figures, and numbers, anybody wants to challenge us, they will be more than welcome. But as important as credible budget and a strong revenue base are, we know that they are not sufficient to bring about the real economic growth we need to help lift our people out of poverty. We must also get the conditions right for the private sector and improve the investment climate. This means providing our private sector with the resources and infrastructure they need to grow, create more jobs for our citizens, and make positive contribution to the economy. It means helping them access markets to sell their goods. To achieve this, we are developing our national infrastructure, building roads and power plants to make sure our private sector, especially small and mid-enterprises, have what they need to prosper. The East-West corridor connecting central Afghanistan to the west of the country is moving forward, and work is underway to finish 2 sections of Qaisar-Laman, which are the missing links in our nationwide ring road. Regional connection is one of the 5 pillars of ANPDF. It will bring us closer and provide financial, socio-economic, political and security benefits for the entire region. Regional cooperation can provide a platform for our invest to converge, build confidence, and provide incentives for peace. The first-year corridor with India is already making a significant contribution to an expected 60% increase in trade between the 2 countries. We are also in discussion with countries of Gulf Cooperation Council to establish a similar air corridor. The agreement for Lapaz-Lazuli corridor, which will connect Afghanistan to Turkmenistan, Azerbaijan, Georgia, Turkey and beyond, will be signed next month on the sideline of RECA conference in Ashgabat. Chabahar port will give Afghanistan access to lucrative Middle East markets, facilitate trade and help us develop markets in Europe and beyond. The 2,100 kilometers 5 nations railway will connect China with Iran, crossing the Kyrgyz Republic, Tajikistan and Afghanistan. An estimated 1,148 kilometers will pass through 5 Afghan provinces, namely Kunduz, Balkh, Jawzjan, Faryab, Badghis and Herat. Afghanistan was the first country to finish procurement for CASA 1000, which will generate 1,000 megawatt of electricity for Pakistan and 300 megawatt for Afghanistan, and an agreement for a new 500 kVA power line from Turkmenistan to Pakistan through Afghanistan will soon be signed. Turkmenistan has started construction of a section of TAPI, and we are on track with technical assessments so that we can bring and we can start our work on our side of the border. Next month, President Ghani will launch the expansion line on the Hawaf-Herat railways with his Iranian counterpart. This line will carry 400 passengers a day and has an annual capacity for 2 million tons of cargo. A partnership between Afghan Telecom and China Telecom will bring the Silk Road fiber optic cable from China to Afghanistan through Wakhan corridor and connect the region to Middle East and Europe. Our efforts are creating jobs to help our people lift themselves out of poverty and give our young people hope in the future here at home in Afghanistan. Our public-private partnerships such as Barikab economic zone are already creating thousands of jobs directly and 1,000 more indirect employment opportunities. The Emergency Economic Recovery Plan for the capital will create more than 17 million days of work for Afghan men and women over a 2-year period. Jobs for Peace has already provided over 500,000 families living in rural areas with more than 2.6 million labor days. The Citizens Charter program is now working in 78 districts and 4 cities in 32 provinces. It has sent 2,400 teachers to schools across Afghanistan. By the end of 2017, the program would reach 2,500 communities. Today, I would like to take note of contributions of 3,500 Afghan women who proudly serve in our military and police forces. Their numbers are on the rise. The Ministry of Defense has earmarked 5,000 posts for women, and the Afghan National Army has established a 10% quota for women. On October 16, Afghanistan became a member of United Nations Human Rights Council. Our people continue to experience crimes against humanity at the hands of insurgency. We are keen to add our voice in support of human rights, and I can tell you that the Afghanistan man in the council will be a woman. Asan Khidmat is already working in temporary accommodation and revolutionizing the way services will be provided to our citizens. By the time it's fully rolled out, it will bring 48 services across 7 ministries under one roof, including work permits and visa extensions, passports, and tax services. The Afghan National Strategy for Combating Corruption was launched last month at the SOM, and I'm sure you have got all the detailed information about that. But we haven't been waiting for the strategy to be finalized. Across government, my colleagues have been hard at work to tackle corruption. Afghanistan is now a member of Open Government Partnership, which is an international platform for domestic reforms commitment to making governments more transparent, accountable, and responsive to its citizens. We are working on an action plan which will be finalized by the end of this year. The Supreme Court and Attorney General's office have been sending the corrupt to justice. The Attorney General has tried some 1,100 cases of corruption, 468 people have been jailed, and repayments and fines totaling more than 14 million have been ordered. The Ministry of Finance has been supporting the excellent work of our colleagues at the Anti-Corruption Justice Center with the close to $3 million allocation to their budget. The center is reviewing 73 civilian and 36 military cases. Because of prosecutions by ACGC, 31 individuals have been sentenced to a combined total of 209 years behind bars. Our citizens can now track details of government contracts on the National Procurement Authority's website. To date, 77% of contracts have been published. The Afghanistan Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, known as EITI, has published its 5th reconciliation report and has prepared a roadmap for reporting beneficial ownerships. In June 2017, Afghanistan was removed from the list of countries perceived to be non-cooperative in the global fight against money laundering and terrorist financing. This means that we can join the world's banking system, allowing us to bring our overseas revenue back home so that we can use that to serve our people. We know that the road ahead is long and the task at hand is formidable. Afghanistan is at the front line in the global war on terror. We are fighting 20 groups classified as terrorist groups, violent assaults by terrorists or exacting a heavy toll on our people. But I'm optimistic for the future and certain that we can deliver on our promises to our partners and also to our people. Our achievements are a proof of our commitments. I would like to contribute to your men and women in uniform who have served and continues to serve in our country, and to your taxpayers for their generosity for supporting us. On behalf of people of Afghanistan, I thank you for your extraordinary support to the future of my country. With that, in closing, I would like to thank everyone who has been working hard to organize today's meeting, including my colleagues at the Ministry of Defense, my colleagues at the Ministry of Finance, and also a special thank to both co-chairs and their team for working so hard to making today's meeting happen. So with that, we welcome you all once again, and according to agenda, we will move forward. So with that, I will give the floor to my good friend from U.S. Embassy, Richard. The floor is yours.